When most people hear the term dark web, they imagine a mysterious, hidden world filled with hackers, criminals, and illicit activities. While the reality is far more complex, there is one undeniable truth. The dark web has been home to some of the largest black markets in history.
Among them, one name stands out: a marketplace so massive and lucrative that it generated billions of dollars, forever changing the landscape of cybercrime.
This is the story of Silk Road, the infamous dark web marketplace that made billions and shook the foundations of law enforcement worldwide.
To understand how Silk Road came to be, we first have to step into the world of its creator, Ross Ulbricht.
Born in 1984 in Austin, Texas, Ross was an intelligent and ambitious young man. He studied physics and later pursued a master's degree in material science and engineering. However, Ross was not just a man of science. He was deeply influenced by libertarian ideals. He believed in free markets, individual liberty, and the right to conduct business without government interference. These beliefs would later form the foundation of Silk Road. Ross envisioned a marketplace that operated entirely outside the reach of governments and traditional financial institutions, a place where people could buy and sell freely, without regulation or oversight. To make this vision a reality, he turned to the dark web, a hidden part of the internet that requires special software, such as Tor, to access. With Tor's encryption and anonymity, users could communicate and conduct transactions in near-total secrecy. To facilitate payments, Ross implemented Bitcoin, a decentralized digital currency that made transactions virtually untraceable. With these tools in place, Silk Road was born in 2011. At first, Silk Road was a relatively small operation. It started as a marketplace similar to eBay, but with one crucial difference: anything could be bought and sold, no matter how illegal. The platform quickly gained traction, drawing users from all over the world who wanted to purchase drugs, fake IDs, hacking tools, and even weapons. Vendors and buyers alike praised Silk Road for its anonymity, security, and customer-driven reputation system, which helped establish trust among criminals. The marketplace was revolutionary, offering a level of safety and discretion never before seen in the world of illicit trade. As Silk Road grew, so did its revenue. At its peak, the marketplace was estimated to be generating over $1 billion in total transactions. With every sale, Ross, operating under the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts, took a commission, making him a multimillionaire in the process.
Unlike traditional drug cartels, Silk Road operated with an efficiency that law enforcement had never encountered before.
Transactions were digital, identities were masked, and communication was encrypted. It was a crime empire built entirely on the internet, and it was thriving. However, as Silk Road's influence expanded, it drew the attention of government agencies around the world.
Law enforcement agencies, particularly the FBI and DEA, began a relentless hunt to track down the mastermind behind the operation. Unlike traditional criminal enterprises, there were no physical shipments, no territories to monitor, and no street dealers to arrest.
This made Silk Road incredibly difficult to shut down, but law enforcement was determined, using cutting-edge cyber investigation techniques to follow the money and infiltrate the marketplace. One of the key breakthroughs in the investigation came from tracking Bitcoin transactions. While Bitcoin is often thought to be completely anonymous, every transaction is recorded on a public ledger called the blockchain. By analyzing transaction patterns, investigators were able to trace Silk Road's finances and identify key players involved in the operation. Additionally, undercover agents infiltrated the marketplace, making purchases and gathering intelligence on its vendors and administrators. But what ultimately led to Ross Ulbricht's downfall was a simple mistake. Despite his careful efforts to remain anonymous, he slipped up early on in Silk Road's existence. In an online forum, he had used his real email address while discussing Silk Road-related topics. Investigators seized on this clue, linking the email to Ross and ultimately leading them to his location. On October 1, 2013, Ross Ulbricht was arrested in a San Francisco public library. In a dramatic moment, FBI agents snatched his laptop before he could close it, preventing him from encrypting or deleting crucial evidence. The laptop contained detailed records of Silk Road's operations, confirming his role as the mastermind behind the marketplace. The arrest sent shockwaves through the cybercrime world, marking the end of Silk Road's reign. The trial that followed was one of the most high-profile cybercrime cases in history. Ross was charged with multiple offenses, including conspiracy to commit money laundering, conspiracy to commit computer hacking, and conspiracy to traffic narcotics. The prosecution painted him as a ruthless kingpin, while his defense argued that Silk Road was merely an experiment in free market economics. Despite the controversy surrounding his case, Ross was ultimately sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But even after Silk Road was shut down, the dark web drug trade continued to evolve.
New marketplaces quickly emerged to fill the void, many of them improving on Silk Road's model by implementing stronger security measures.
While law enforcement agencies have successfully shut down several of these marketplaces over the years, new ones keep appearing, proving that the demand for such services has not diminished. The legacy of Silk Road extends far beyond its billion-dollar profits.
It changed the way we think about online crime, digital currencies, and the limitations of law enforcement in the digital age. It demonstrated the power of decentralized networks and the risk they pose when used for illicit purposes.
It also raised ethical questions about privacy, personal freedom, and government surveillance. The story of Silk Road is a cautionary tale about the intersection of technology, crime, and ideology. Ross Ulbricht may have believed he was creating a marketplace for freedom, but in reality, he built one of the largest black markets the world had ever seen. His arrest and conviction sent a clear message that even in the anonymous depths of the dark web, no one is truly untouchable. Today, the dark web remains a battleground between cybercriminals and law enforcement. While Silk Road is long gone, its influence lingers, shaping the future of digital crime and cybersecurity. The question remains, will we ever be able to completely shut down these hidden marketplaces? Or will technology continue to evolve in ways that make them even more difficult to stop?
Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the dark web will always be a place where the line between freedom and lawlessness is blurred.